Hello and welcome to this product update video for Copperhead and WaveCloud. And today I just want to go over a few additions that have been added to both apps, and starting with Copperhead. Now, the great thing here is that Spidericemidas has created a second new bank. This bank has a total of 111 patches, varying from bass patches to pads and atmospheres, and a whole synth bank as well. And obviously, with them being from Spider, they're of excellent quality. So let's have a listen to some of the new patches from Spider, starting with this one. So that's a brief summary of the new Spidericemidas preset pack, which will be available in version 1.15. So in total now, Copperhead ships with over 550 presets, all free and available for you to use when you purchase this app. So there's never been a better time to grab yourself a copy. So let's now turn our attention to the updates made to WaveCloud over the last couple of weeks. Now, one of the main reasons for me making this video is because WaveCloud 1.04 features some new additions and changes, but you probably wouldn't notice. So I'm really going to just delve into what these are. The first thing is the number of grains and the actual grain length. They can be manipulated now in 0.01 steps, which means we can take the number of grains per second right down to 0.1, which is equivalent to 1 grain every 10 seconds. And now we can take the length all the way down again to 0.1. Now I wanted to point that out early because it has an effect on a new feature we've added that I'm going to go over a little bit later. Now if we press the main menu and head off to settings, you'll notice that the record length limit now opens up a slightly different dialog than before, and now we can specify a maximum record length in beats or in seconds, so it's your choice now. And again, this is going to be useful for what's coming next. Now if we long press the record button, you'll see that the pop-up menu that appears has slightly changed. We can now select the maximum record length from here. We can select the recording mode, which we had overwrite in the pen before. We've now got a third option called loop. And at the very bottom of this menu we have a live loop options, which opens up a live loop options window. Now you can also get to this window from the menu, open windows, and then live loop options at the bottom. Now before I explain what the live loop options does, I also want to point out that if you look at the exposed AU parameters, not only do we have a record button, I think we had that in the last version, we also have a monitor button and a monitor mix button. Now by default now when you record, the monitor is turned off, and we can remotely turn this monitor on, and we can remotely start record from an external source. So let's take a look at this mysterious new dialog, the live loop options, and what could be done with this new addition. Now the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that I've set up an 8-beat loop, which is essentially 2 bars. And in live loop options, I've currently got the recording start set to immediate. That means when I press the record button, because we've got it set to record a loop, you'll see that the record cursor just continuously wraps when it hits the 2-bar mark. Now if we take a look at AUM, I've got WaveCloud loaded as an effect plugin so it can record anything that passes through it. So in this case I've got a file player here with a file loaded, and if I press play on the AUM transport, you will see the audio passing through on the WaveCloud record meters. Now if I set the record start to detect audio, then when I start recording, WaveCloud will sit there waiting for an incoming audio signal, and as soon as I start playing with the AUM transport, you'll see that it starts recording and then immediately stops once the buffer's full. As soon as WaveCloud detects more incoming audio, it starts recording again from the beginning of the buffer, and then stops once the buffer's full. So in this detect audio mode, as long as there's incoming sound, the recording will keep going, but as soon as we hear silence, it stops at the end of the record buffer. Now let's switch this record start over to immediate, and let's have a look at the AUM, and notice that I've got the grain position there set so I can control externally. And when I control that external position and play a MIDI note, you can hear the sound from that part of the buffer. So we can go into loop recording mode and we can record a continuous loop into WaveCloud and then manipulate the play position within that loop. And we can get some interesting things in this mode. Now, I'm on immediate record mode, so when I start recording, it just starts recording and it will loop every 2 bars regardless of the velocity of the incoming sound. And I can sit there and I can play notes, and the notes will be played at the cursor position. But if we turn on this loop follow and play a note, you'll see that the notes actually follow the play cursor, just behind the play cursor. And the loop follow determines how far away from the record point of those notes are. So it's like tracking, and we can play harmonies this way. Moments, just a few, but ever since I think of you. Now the monitor mix can be used to control how much of the original sound and how much of the granular sound are played. So for instance, if we turn this all the way to the left, we're only going to hear the granular sound. We turn it all the way to the right, we'll only hear the original sound. Now by combining this with like playback direction and grain size and the number of grains emitted, we can create various effects from kind of vocal doubling to harmonizing to delays. So now hopefully you understand how the two live looping modes work, the immediate and the detect audio. Let's try an example where we're playing in a song and we're just adding bits of echoes and reverb using the granular engine when we press various keys. So hopefully you get an idea of how this is going to work in the future. The idea of being able to capture a live loop and then perform granular options over the top is a very useful feature which we can build upon in the future. But I obviously didn't want to go and do a complete masterclass on this, since I haven't fleshed this out to its full potential yet. But I think you'll get the idea. So that's just about it for this video. I just wanted to bring all this to your attention so you know that this is something for the future. So again, don't forget to thumb up the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.